Alrighty, step one in this project is going to be like any good project in motorcycle. Remove the seat, then we'll be on the gas tank. What we're going to use our quarter turn fasteners. Remove the side cover. Hey, there's the airbox lid. Wonder what that's for. It's a Brillo pad. Steel wool. Don't know. Get our airbox lid cover, get it put up here on the parts shelf. Take that bolt out, that's that right there, and we'll have the seat off this thing. Now really, there should be a couple of bolts through here that hold the seat on, but they're not here, so we're not complaining about that. We'll put that nut back in place so we can find it, just in case we're needing it. All right, take our tank off. Let's see where you're looking now. Take the tank off, we're simply gonna take these two bolts out. This is the L model, so it's a street going version. The last one we did was an R model, the off-road version. There are differences, but the basic gist is pretty much the same. Get a metal tray to put some bolts and stuff in. Turn the fuel off, we'll unhook his fuel line. Not too bad. There we go. I do believe our next step, we're just going to pull the exhaust off this thing, and then we'll head in from there. We got some 10s up here, we've got a couple of 12s back here. We'll get the header pipes loose, and then see if we can pop it loose in the muffler without taking the muffler off the bike. That's really the goal. Well, I think everything's going swimmingly because those all come off and none of them broke off. So to me, that's already a win. We'll zip these two loose. There we go. Now we'll see if we can wiggle this header pipe out of here. Woo! All right. There we go. Whoo! What a struggle. All right, header's off. Next, I think what we're going to try to do is we're going to take the carburetor loose, but we're also going to take this boot off. This is the intake boot, and I find it easier if I just go ahead and take this boot off, and also I'm going to replace the O-ring in there while I'm there. These boots and those O-rings are a pretty common vacuum leak or intake leak, so we're going to do our best to eliminate that in the process. It seemed like on the R, we had pretty good luck taking this loose and getting it out of the way. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. If we can take two bolts loose and keep us from riding the struggle bus so much, I think that's a win. Maybe a win, maybe not. Their hose is pretty short on this thing. Well, we can kind of get in there a little bit better. We'll grab a screwdriver, we'll get that clamp loose. Grab the long Milwaukee number 2 here. Then we'll take these 3 bolts out as well. I don't think I can get on those. Maybe a couple of them with a ratchet. Because you know I like the electric ratchet quite a bit. That bottom one, there's no chance to get a ratchet on it. Not an electric ratchet. Maybe a ratcheting wrench though. There we go. So we can finger that out of there now. This shock reservoir is just in the way all the time. All right, let's get the one off the other side and see if we can slide that thing out of there. All Alrighty, it's loose now. Go ahead and loosen up the back clamp between the carburetor and the air filter. I know, you can't see it. You'll have to use your imagination. It's actually happening. Alright, next we got to get our decomp cable loose, our oil feed line loose. Oh boy, our top engine mount. But we're close to getting the top end to go whoop and come off. When I say close, it's closer than it was. And I'm pretty excited about where we're at right now. But let's keep going. There's a decomp cable. He's just going to hang out in the way, so I'm going to stick him back in the air box. So he has a place to be. See, unless things have a place to be, they tend not to be in your way. Unless where they need to be is in your way. Alrighty, work that around. His spark plug was cracked, but he says it hasn't caused a problem. If I run across one of those, it's never going to be a problem because I'll replace it. Get your 12s out of our motor mount. Yeah, it's doing the spinny spin. I left the rubber cap over on the other side. This cap, thinking maybe it would hold it, but I guess that cap just don't have enough juice to hold it good enough. It's all right, it's old. Get our 2 bolts out here. Now we'll go around the other side and get our 14 out, although we'll probably need a wrench for that too. Yeah, this thing's a 1993 model. So let's see, 2003, 2013, 2023. Yeah, this thing is 31 years old. My goodness. Don't seem right, but it is. 93, 2003, 2013, 2023. Yeah, 31 years old. Wouldn't have guessed it, but hey, looking right at it. Guess I have to. Now this bike, a guy contacted me. He saw another video on this channel on Raymore Repair, and wanted to know if I wanted to do the top end on this thing. And I thought, you know what? I'm kind of in XR mode. Considering I just did the 250R and then my brother's XR250L with no spark. So why not do another one real quick? We'll have these RFBC engines down. So here we are. We're doing another one. Like I say, this just belongs to a viewer of the channel. And we're taking care of it for him. I don't mind. It's kind of a fun little project. I just did an XR250 and an XR650L at work too. We put a big bore kit in the 650R or 650L. Now you notice I'm not even checking the valves at this point because we're pulling it apart. Now if we weren't, I'd be checking them. But I'm not going to because it really doesn't matter at this point. Our leak down was mostly past the rings, which have nothing to do with the valves. So we will pop the valves out of the head and see what kind of shape they're in and see if they need replacing, and certainly replace the valve seal guides while we're here. But that doesn't require us actually checking the valves now. I know I'm going to get comments, wow, why didn't you check the valves? Well, that's why. There's a 12 right smack in the center, and it takes a wrench to get to it. Now, it won't come out until you take the cover off, and it has to come off with the cover. You can't pull it straight up and out. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Can also tell you we are not on top dead center. We're leaking oil like mad. Let me grab a pig mat and throw under this thing. There we go. Now I can just finger it out. See? Boop. Can't get it out. The biggest thing to remember is to put this bolt in here before you put the cover back on. Otherwise, you're pulling the cover back off. As much as I do it, I'm not a big fan of doing stuff twice. I tend to do it a lot. Of course, she smells good. Said nobody ever. And that bolt is out. All right. Let's take a look at what we got. We are close to top dead center, just on the wrong top dead center. We got intake and exhaust both almost open. Let's take a look at what we got here. See if we can get this thing to focus here. Our rocker arms look pretty good. You can see a line on them, but I can't really feel it. The cam follow our rocker arms. There are other rocker arms in this thing, and they follow the valves. But these are probably okay. Take a look at our cam lobes here. And this is what we got on the cam lobes. See if we can get this sweetheart to focus a bit better. And I gotta tell you, what I feel right now feels pretty good. Let's go ahead and punch this head off here and we'll get the valves out of it and see what the real story is with those. Yep, gotta take the camshaft out to get the head off. I do believe, because I got a cam chain over there. You know what that means. She's gonna get hung up. Now, I want to stop here and show everybody, because everybody says this is wrong. These bearings on the cam, the seals are to the outside. You can see this one over here, if it focuses. Has the bearings to the inside, the balls, the race and everything on the inside. But this has a seal on the outside. If you look at this side, same story. Seal is on the outside. Now, when I did the XR250R, I had several people comment that I put those bearings in backwards. Since this is the oil galley coming across here, they think this bearing has to be in the other way for it to get oil pressure to it. It doesn't get oil pressure to it, it gets splash lubed from the oil flying around inside the head. There is no pressure lube to either bearing. And that seal goes to this side, not to the other side. According to Honda, now, I know there's a lot of would-be engineers out there that are smarter than Honda. Believe me, I've heard it. But I'm going to stick with the Honda engineers on this one. They designed it, and this bike's ran for 31 years. I don't think it's not a bad track record. Is the hole showing up? Nope, it's not up there yet. If I push this down, pull this up, the hole shows up. Whew, that's gonna be tough. Let me get a pick to stick in there. Every 90-degree pick I got is broke. But we'll try it. Here we go. There we go. I'm still going to leave these on here. They're not going to be in the way, but that loosens all this up. Now we can get our cam bolts out and get ready to remove the camshaft. Remove these two bolts that hold the cam chain sprocket on. Ooh, that's a tight one. Ooh, still a tight one. Wowzers. Yeah, I'm going to have to pull the timing cover off and get something on the crankshaft into this. Hold that baby still. Or is the nut to turn the crank is inside of here. Oh yeah, somebody really got on that. I'm telling you, fellers and fillettes, they don't need to be that tight. O-ring's not in great shape either. Now then, I think that's a 17 in there. It is on the other ones anyway. So let me grab a 17 socket. We'll get that on a ratchet and try to make it hold still. I don't know if it'll work or not, but we'll be able to try. Now we'll go back to our cam sprocket and we'll continue on with that. There we go. There we go. There we go, and we're now really close to top dead center. Not exactly, but really close. We'll pop this cam out of here. Lower the sprocket down, take the chain off of it if we can. Yeah, kind of hard to do from the wrong side. Maybe if we just turn the cam a bit, we can get it to sneak through there. Let it rock one way or the other a bit. There we go. One more time. There's our cam. This is our cam. And I think you're focusing okay. It actually looks pretty good. So I don't think there's any issues there. Not with the old cam. We'll run to the other side, we'll take the sprocket out, and then we will try to pop the bolts loose. There's one right in here, right where that cam was. One on the other side in the same position, one here, and one on the outside down here. And that is most of the bolts it'll take to get our head off. We still gotta get this out of the way, but we'll get there. All right, let's work our cam chain out of here, our cam sprocket. Just work the chain off of it. Pull that baby out, set it down there. Then we will release this. Like so, and I can't remember what it takes to get this out. I'm thinking you have to pull the side cover off, the engine side cover, to get this sweetheart out of the way. I bet that's right. Yep, it does seem right. The oils are draining and it looks pretty good. Oil filter. There we go. And good news, the spring's in there. Got a okay oil filter in it. Yep, spring's still there. That's awesome. I take a bunch of these off. That spring is gone. Never to be seen again. I'm gonna start these back in here. That's weird. Usually as things get looser, they get less tight. But I think it's walking out. I think what's going on. Let's turn it back the other way a touch. Yeah, it's just walking out. We'll hold it in while we take it out. Maybe that'll help. Okay, kicker's out of the way. There we go, that's out. Let's see here, decomp cable, that's not a big deal, it can just come out. The clutch cable. Let's get it loose real quick. Apparently, that's not a 5. Should have been a 5. I think that's all of them. All right, that's out. Of course, the gasket broke down here. And we'll go ahead and break it real good so we don't even attempt to reuse it. Like break it along the bottom so the oil can finish dripping out. And yeah, we got a bolt. Of course, it's behind the clutch. So we got to take the stinking clutch off to get the top end off. Way to go, Honda. Nothing to do but to keep doing. Guess we'll know the clutch is good. I guess really I didn't have to take this all the way off. I could have just reached in with the tool and took the nut off, but I don't know. All right, we got the clutch nut loose. Got that off there. Set the clutch aside. Over there in the side cover. And take our bolt out so we can actually get that out. It's an awesome plan, Honda. Super cool. Of course, it's Loctited in place. Wouldn't expect any less. There, now this can come up out of there as soon as the chain is out of the way. I'm gonna grab a magnet. Just gonna grab our chain, pull it up. Get in here and get this sweetheart out of here. Yeah, I forgot that was just a clip. Maybe we didn't have to take that clutch clear off. I don't know. We're in it to win it now. Probably a good idea to check the condition of that anyway. Will our chain fall clear down into there? Chain was still in pretty decent condition, so not too worried about it. Now then, we will switch over to an 8. Take these two out. They're long. Go down to the head. Alrighty, now then, we can pop that off there. I still think we could have just got that clip out of the way. We wouldn't have to do all this, but I don't mind doing this because look at this. There's a ton of sludge down in there. We'll wash all that out we can. Do you want to see it? All right. You see down in here, get our light to focus, and that's a bearing retainer. All this down in here. Yeah. There is quite a bit of sludge down there. We can also clean out the screen down there, that oil pickup screen as well. If we really get funky, or spunky even, we can pull the oil pump off and check it while we're here. First things first though, we're really here to get the head off this thing, the top end, and take a look at it. That is our main priority right now. There we go. Oh, that one wasn't very tight. All that talk about tight? Oh yeah. That one was. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that dowel pin while we're here. Put it over there. Now we can get our ratchet after it. And the goose. If I remember right, there's at least 3 different lengths of bolts on this, if not 4. So we want to kind of figure that out as we come apart. There is the one for the intake side. Let's pop this one for the exhaust side and see how it compares. See if we can get his washer while we're there. Nope. Now, it's different. And with that washer, this one's different as well. And let's see, that's a shorter one. Yeah, there's 3 different lengths of bolts that go in there. And get them in the right place. And don't mix up the head bolts, because it seems like one of the head bolts are 10 and those are 9mm, or the other way around. One of the two. So put your head stuff with your head stuff. Yay! We will set that down. We'll flip over to that. Right now we got a whole bunch of crud right there when you get off there. Yeah, it all needed to go right now. All right, let's get our 2 8mm out here, and then we'll get our head off here. I need a wrench though for those. Let's go ahead and pop our valves out of our head. We're going to do this kind of old school. I got the proper tool, but not here. One of them. There's the other one. There goes my valve finger. Oh man. We'll clear over here under the 4-wheeler tire. Both my cotters for that valve, both the springs, they're even in the right way. Good chance they've never been out. There we go. Those are in the right way. There's both the cotters for this one. Alrighty, let's pop our valves out. Pull our exhaust, or let's pull our intakes out first. I don't really care which one comes from which because they're good. I want to recut the seats and seat them back in anyway. I'll have to clean these up, but got a feeling they're going to be all right on the exhaust. The intakes were... All right, the reason I'm saying that on the intakes that I probably need to replace them is you can get all kinds of special tools out. You can do all kinds of stuff. But if you just take a valve stem and lay it over the top of the valve seat, and if you can see daylight between the sides of the seats, it's probably run down too much. And this one here is pretty good. However, this one, I can go like this, and I can see a touch of daylight in there. So I'll clean these up. I'll take them to work and use a glass beater to clean up. I do not have one of those here. I only have so much space, and if I had all the tools I needed, I wouldn't have any space to work at all. Right now, the garage is chock full. I emptied my storage unit, and some of the stuff had to come in here. We'll clean those up at work, and I am certain the intakes are going to be replaced. The exhaust probably not. All right, I think we're going to end the video here. We got it all torn down. We know exactly what we need. It's going to be a bit to get parts. I'm going to have a friend of mine, the unknown machinist. He's going to do the boring on this thing. He'll get it bored, and I'll film doing the head work on this thing. We'll get that taken care of. Go down in the comments and let me know what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong and what you'd do different. Now, I know we did not get a bore gauge out and measure out this cylinder to find out how much it's barreled and everything else. Because really, it just doesn't matter. We're going to go to the next size over. It's a 0.5mm oversize. We're going to bore it to that. New piston, rings, circlips, piston pin, intake valves. Pretty darn confident we're going to need those. Exhaust valves, I do believe are going to be okay, but we'll check those more thoroughly. We'll check our guides to make sure they're good. And then the real fun on these things is cleaning up the seats. When we recut the seats, these heads run really high temperatures. And you can actually see in here where it's discolored on the exhaust side. These are run hot enough they'll actually boil oil in the head, but it's designed to do that. Honda knows it's going to do it. The only thing is, whenever you go to cut these seats, a lot of times these guides have moved. And that makes them cut a little weird. You have to cut them a lot more than you'd think you would need to get a good solid seat all the way around. We'll go over that whenever we're cutting these back in. And we've got a few other odds and ends and pieces we need. We'll get all that together. And once again, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. My family appreciates it. It keeps us going. And if you could subscribe, like the video, anything like that you want to do, that'd be fantastic. And as always, I hope to see you on the next one, and God bless.